Hello and welcome to the Superior Comic Show on the Dynamo Podcast Network, where the devil is in the details. That's right, this is issue one of our Marvel Villains series, and we will be talking about Mephisto. Now, so Mephisto, many comic readers will know who he is, many casual new non-readers will not, so that's what these series are for. Um, so I started out by saying that some say the devil is dead. More say he rose again. Any of our Irish fans will get will know why that's brilliant. Let's get into it with his the origin where he started. So Mephisto was created by Stan Lee and John Buscema. His first appearance was in Silver Surfer #3 all the way back in 1968. Mephisto is an immortal demon possessing nearly limitless power. He's based on the character Mephistopheles from Faust legend. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but sure, look, that's how it goes. And he often acts as the Christian Satan. And although he started off with Silver Surfer and continued to battle Silver Surfer throughout that series, he's not linked to any one Marvel hero or character as their archenemy. Instead, he's like quite a thorn in the side of the likes of the Avengers and the entire Marvel universe. And with his command over dark magic, it's obvious that he would have had a few run-ins with the likes of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange probably faced him more often than anyone else. But he's also been a pain in the hole for some ground level heroes like Daredevil and Spider-Man. But many people who have just heard a bit on Mephisto will know him from his involvement in the very, very convoluted, often retconned history of the Ghost Rider. Originally, it was believed that Satan himself made the deal with Johnny Blaze that bonded him with the demon Zarathos. Uh, but it was later revealed that it was actually Mephisto in his Satan disguise, whatever you want to call it. He kind of is Satan, but isn't Satan. But yeah, like I said, it's been constantly retcon and it's gone back and forth about who it actually was who gave Johnny Blaze the link with Zarathos on his soul. But regardless of that, many iterations of Ghost Riders continue to battle Mephisto. Ghost Rider was actually made to be a servant of Mephisto, but rebelled, which is an interesting story. One of the versions was Mephisto bonded the Zarathos to the soul of Johnny Blaze because he was jealous of the worship of Zarathos. The potential spoiler alert here for anyone who's just starting to watch WandaVision. I'll give you a minute to click off, but if you're up to date with WandaVision or you don't plan on watching it, it's okay. So he also Mephisto has a disturbing connection to Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch. When Wanda used her reality altering powers to give herself twins, basically, as we've seen in the show just a few episodes ago, she unknowingly used two parts of Mephisto's soul to create her sons, Tommy and Billy. But eventually, Mephisto would reabsorb them into himself, and it was that loss of her children that would lead to Avengers Disassembled and House of M. But then again, her sons would later be reincarnated as Speed and Wiccan and join the Young Avengers. So there you go. Anyone who's watching WandaVision and isn't an avid comic reader, there's Billy and Tommy's link to the future. But for myself, anyway, everyone knows I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. It was Mephisto's involvement in the Spider-Man franchise. It's probably the most well-known, and it is very hot and cold. People love it or hate it. Personally, I enjoyed it. I make no secrets of my feelings about a certain character involved back then, and I thought it was done really well. But in the One More Day storyline by J. Michael Straczynski and Joe Quesada, I hope I'm pronouncing them right, in 2007. Aunt May was dying from a bullet wound that was indirectly a result of him revealing his identity in Civil War. And so Peter becomes desperate enough that he makes a deal with Mephisto. And Mephisto offers to save Aunt May if Peter and Mary Jane agree to have their marriage and their love erased from history. So they agree to it to save Aunt May, obviously, as you would. And Mephisto keeps his word, heals Aunt May, and also erases the public's knowledge of Peter's identity. Could we be going that way for Spider-Man 3? I'll get onto that later. And the story is fans rebelled against the storyline. And from that storyline, it still continues to have effects on Spider-Man stories today. Like the Spider-Man story arc Last Remains serves as kind of a sequel to One More Day, with the villain Kindred is aware of Peter's deal with Mephisto, and also suggesting that Mephisto manipulated Pete in greater extents than we would have thought originally. And after operating from behind the scenes for years, though, Mephisto's long simmering plans against the Avengers look like they're going to come to fruition in Heroes Reborn, which will basically completely alter the Marvel universe and remove the Avengers from history, apparently. So that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on. And yeah, it's all these things that make Mephisto a great villain that many casual readers and new readers may not have heard of, but deserve to hear of. He's incredible. So if you want to learn more about Mephisto, there's so many key issues, but I picked just 5 that I think you should look into. There's obviously his debut in Silver Surfer 3 in 1968, Stan Lee and John Buscema. And then personally, I'd go next to Marvel Spotlight number 5, 1972 by Gary Friedrich and Mike Ploog. It was the first appearance of Ghost Rider, and though Mephisto doesn't appear, he's mentioned, and it brings along that history of Ghost Rider and Mephisto. After that, you'd be probably looking into The Vision and Scarlet Witch Volume 2. Again, not directly appearing, but involved. That one came out in 1986, and it's issue 12, where the twins are born, and that was by Steve Englehart and Richard Howell. And I would continue to read on that series because his influence just becomes more and more apparent. After that, then we have Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. This one, I didn't mention it during the little breakdown there of Mephisto's history, but in 1989, written by Roger Stern and penciled by Mike Mignola, it turns out Mephisto actually has possession of Doctor Doom's mother's soul, where she made a deal to gain powers to protect the people from the Baron. And Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom have to team up to rescue his mother's soul. Strange team up what it is with Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and as you'd imagine, there's twists, there's turns, there's double crosses, there's triple crosses. It's just a big giant web. Yeah, and then obviously for me, the one I would suggest is Spider-Man One More Day in 2007 by Straczynski and Quesada. Learn why in recent comics, I know it's different now, but in recent comics you learn why Peter and MJ were not together, even though they were married in earlier iterations of the character. So yeah, they're my 5 I would pick to be the key issues, my favorite key issues anyway, for Mephisto. So yeah, let's get on to some theories now before we finish up. So with WandaVision now, everyone is theorizing Mephisto is the big bad, and I can see why, especially with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness come up, and as mentioned before, Spider-Man 3. Everyone has their different opinions about who Mephisto is. Some are saying it's this douchebag. Some are saying it's this slick motherfucker. And some are saying it's this crazy bitch's husband. So yeah, listen, it could be any of them. I hope it's one of them. I hope Mephisto is coming in, because then with Peter's identity being known in the MCU now, he's going to need some sort of retcon. Mephisto can grant him that. But what is he going to have to give is the question. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Personally, I think Mephisto is this douchebag. I could be wrong. Marvel have proved me wrong before, but that's my personal opinion. That's who Mephisto is. I think Pete is going to have to give up something very big to get his identity unknown. So yeah, listen, that was Mephisto, short, sweet, in a nutshell. This was issue 1 of Marvel Villains from Most of the Superior Comic Show. We have another issue coming up soon, where we're going to be looking into Sauron. If you enjoy it, please hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you thought about Mephisto. What are your key moments, or did you know anything about him? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we will see you very, very soon.